So obviously the Boston bombing is still having a ripple effect on the fears of Americans across the country. Meanwhile, 4 days since the Boston Marathon bombings, suspect Johar Tsarnaev was actually taken into custody by authorities, and new details are coming out about this investigation. Here's the latest information coming out. Speaking to interrogators from his hospital bed, the 19-year-old acknowledged having played a role in planting the explosives near the marathon finish line. He also told investigators that the U.S. wars in Iraq and Afghanistan motivated him and his brother to carry out this attack. Now, that was according to an official close to the investigation. When he does stand trial, he will face a number of charges, including the use of a weapon of mass destruction, which could land him a life in prison or even the death penalty. For more from Boston, RT correspondent Anastasia Churkina joins me now. Anastasia, what is the latest information coming out from the investigation?
Well, Megan, the latest we're hearing today is, of course, the fact that 19-year-old Johar Tsarnaev is finally beginning to reveal more details about the motives and reasoning behind this attack that shook the United States last Monday. Certainly, we're hearing from officials close to the investigation that he has said that the motives behind the two bombings that took place here in Boston were the wars the United States has been fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. And this is certainly breaking news here on the ground, and officials are trying to find more details about that. We also know that Tsarnaev is saying allegedly to the investigators that him and his brother were self-radicalized. He is saying, according to officials here on the ground, that they were not communicating with any extremist groups and that they had learned how to set up the bombs that they used basically on the internet, using the pressure cookers that ended up making up these bombs. They went online and figured out how to do that, according to what we're hearing here on the ground. It's also important to point out that he basically says, and this has been something that many people have been asking, the question is whether or not they're connected to any radical groups. And what we know right now on the ground is Tsarnaev is saying that is not the case.
Anastasia, several U.S. officials have expressed disappointment in the fact that Johar Tsarnaev will not be tried as an enemy combatant. Senator Rand Paul is not one of them, however. Here's what he told Fox Business News in a recent interview.
What we do with them, I think we can still preserve the Bill of Rights. I see no reason why our Constitution is not strong enough to convict this young man with a jury trial, with the Bill of Rights. We do it to horrible people all the time, rapists and murderers. They get lawyers, they get trials with juries, and we seem to be able to do a pretty good job of justice. So I think we can do it through our court system.
Now, Anastasia, are you getting any more insight as to why the Obama administration is choosing to try this suspect as a civilian and not in a military tribunal?
Well, Megan, one of the kind of loudest arguments against treating Tsarnaev as an enemy combatant is, of course, the fact that people have been saying, guys, we have to keep in mind that we're talking about a U.S. citizen who committed a crime on U.S. soil involving Americans. And the biggest arguments that legal experts were using is basically, if this happens, if this person is tried in a military tribunal, that would set a major precedent, basically allowing officials to try Americans like this. And certainly that is something that has been raising lots of eyebrows. And, as we know, of course, the White House has opted against that option.
And meanwhile, Anastasia, the TSA announced today that it will hold off on a planned policy change to allow small knives on airplanes. They were going to allow people to start carrying knives of less than 2.5 inches long. Could this be because of the Boston Marathon bombings? Is there any connection between the two?
Well, it's hard to say whether there's a direct link in this particular case. Like you say, the TSA has been considering this, claiming that they have more serious things to look out for in an airplane. But certainly we can tell you that, there's definitely been a heightened sense of fear and being alert a lot more than in the day before this bombing. So certainly whatever measures officials are taking now to try to keep safer are, I guess many people are saying, justified, because this situation has just frightened so many people.
RT correspondent Anastasia Churkina on the ground in Boston with the very latest.